Alright, this is literally just a cursed image, but you may not realize that. All memes aside, if you were, or currently are a kid that was a kid between the years 2000 to 2020, you've probably heard about a little website named Study Island. Now, if you live in the US, actually, off topic, while I was doing research for this video, I wasn't able to find any instance of Study Island being in any other country, well, except for the US. You want to know one thing both Study Island and the American education system share in common? They both frickin' suck, and completely outdated. Now look, if you like doing long and boring work for more than 30 minutes straight trying to figure out how many cookies Balfunius Herb can shove up his anus before he experiences internal bleeding, then fine. But either way, you're probably not normal since nobody actually likes Study Island. You people in the other countries without Study Island are lucky. This thing is just torture disguised as an educational website. Oh sure, it has games, but literally it's the same basic crap since they can't do anything worth a dang for their games. Study Island is just a crappy way for teachers to force students to do work when they don't want to do it. We have a whole argument about whether we should have group projects or not, while Study Island in the corner over there is like, "Hey guys, like my fidget spinners? They are golden rainbow." Alright, but seriously though, Study Island is the single worst interface and educational platform on this planet. Those quotes on the website talking about how amazing it is are most likely created by the creators themselves. Nobody likes Study Island, besides teachers who like to make their students suffer through tough and boring questions and answers that want to make them commit non-existence. The teachers are the only group of people who like the website because, as I mentioned, Study Island is a way for teachers who want to slack and not do anything to make their students still endure the torture of schoolwork. Now, I've mentioned this many times to my friends in school about how crappy and boring Study Island is. Well, they agree, but they think I'm just making it a bit too dramatic. Well, I would agree if I wasn't a total moron. Since today's rant is about Study Island, we're going to explain the history. Then we will get into the main ranty part, and then crapping on people who say it's amazing when they obviously are either teachers or people paid to say. So, let's see first how this godforsaken website came to be. Keep in mind, I had to kill myself to research this video because I'd rather not search for Study Island. So, 20 years ago in 2000, a man named Cameron Chalmers decided that after waking up, he thought of a brilliant way to torture the young kids of America after enduring enough pain with the terrible system already. He formed a team to make Admentum and Study Island. The first versions were mainly used to provide a fun way to make students learn certain subjects. Well, judging by a lot of reviews, it's a mixed bag on if people like it or not. Mostly bad. Cameron brought many experts and people in education to form this new website to, quote-unquote, help kids with learning subjects. Eventually, they were able to provide every state with Study Island and some provinces in Canada too. Canada isn't the US, but no other countries have it. Over the years, they have made several changes to the website layout. I will let you compare what it looked like in 2000 to what it looks like now. Yeah, the original layout looked atrocious compared to the new one, but the new one still looks like a Lisa Frank coloring book, so I digress. And from the Admentum Study Island history page, it pretty much ends there. Study Island is now the quote-unquote leading academic provider, and yeah, well, if you can't tell already, I am being sarcastic since Study Island doesn't help students all that much. I already showed you all the reviews of people telling you not to use Study Island because it's boring and complicated. So, it's clear that it's not working. I'll tell you why. So, we have covered the very short history of Study Island, which is probably short because there are certain details that you don't want to share about the company, but anyways, For everyone who lives outside the US and Canada and didn't already get what this place is, Study Island is an educational website designed to help students in subjects like math, ELA, and science. And yeah, teachers can assign tests or quizzes or simply just an assignment to their students to have them do it anyway, despite the fact it doesn't count for their grades unless the teacher makes it so. But I've already explained why it's so crappy, but there are more controversial reasons why it sucks as well. One is that it wasn't as good as it used to be. Many people who use Study Island and hate it used to like it. Between from 2000 to about 2012-ish, which is what most people say, most people claim that it was ruined by Admentum and it sucks now. So, yeah. I wasn't using Study Island during that time, but if everyone agrees on each other about that, then it's a pretty good reason. Another is how it's so similar to the American public education system. Now look, in countries like Finland, where they have the top education system in the world, sometimes, all the US does is say, "Hey kiddo, you look like a mess, because you look like crap. You get a lollipop shoved far up your crack, got it? Alright." That's what the US does. Finland says, "Hey kiddo, you look like crap. Here, come to my house. I'll wash you up, give you an expensive dog, some candy, and a flat screen TV, and a 5-star hotel just for you." Study Island is either worse or just as bad as the US education system. Many students can agree with me that school in the US sucks. It's boring, long, not fun to learn, and usually the teachers don't make it any better. Study Island looks at the US school system and says, "Yeah, you're pretty cool, but you know what? Here, take a power drill and cut this kid in half while saying this is important to your future, young one," while doing the stanky leg. And many schools are like, "Holy crap, you are a genius. Get the power saw. That kid looks like he's having a good day." Now, look, I am making jokes to kind of emphasize that Study Island needs to change or be shut down. Personally, I think it should be shut down, but if you think it should stay, tell me what they should do to change it, to make it better. But Study Island is a problem, and it's ruining the lives of many students in the US and maybe Canada too. Over the years, the students don't have a voice if their teachers should do Study Island or not. The teacher is forced by the higher-ups to make students do something terrible in order to please them. Study Island is like a gateway for that. Teachers probably have to do their paperwork and stuff, so Study Island is just like, I'll cut you a deal. I'll torture these kids until you say they are done, and you can do your, taxes there. I know you are, severely in debt." Ooh, good deal. These kids make me want to go commit coronavirus. So, Study Island tortures thousands of kids for hours and hours on end, and when they can't finish stuff at school, they go home, cry for maybe an hour, and man up to do it. I have to come home many times thinking, why does anyone think this is a good idea? Why does anyone think this helps? It's hurting rather than helping. Now look, I hate math, mainly because A, I suck at it, and B, it's boring to listen to, and adding Study Island into the mix just increases my anger for it. That's why I made this video. I'm so tired of our teachers forcing us to do this cursed and demonic website because the teacher doesn't need to do anything. Now, imagine if we lived in a perfect world and Study Island didn't exist, or actually did their job properly and make it fun. And the US public education system actually works and can help. I probably wouldn't suck at math. Oh sure, I would probably not like it, but if the teachers actually didn't force us to do the torture method known as Study Island and make the subject fun, I'd go to school with a more positive outlook. Instead, I have to wake up to 6 a.m., then realize I only have so much time to get ready, force my tired and aching body to go to the boring thing known as school. Then sit through all the periods 1 to 10 and in 5 to 7 and 8, 9 having to endure Study Island because those teachers don't want us to enjoy school. Then the day ends and I walk out happy. Not because I learned anything, but because I don't have to go back for another 12 or more hours. The cycle repeats. Study Island is just a useless and completely incompetent way to make students learn something in order for them to succeed, along with our education system. Study Island wants you to sit through 30 or more minutes of grueling and torture just to finish 10 or 15 question assignments and force you to get a 70% or better. And if you don't, well, guess what I do? And while I was researching reviews and websites about Study Island, I found many instances where people got a question right, but Study Island said they were wrong anyway. So they fact-checked themselves, and it was right. Study Island wants you to get a question wrong so you fail, and do it again. Study Island makes you fail to call you a dummy when you really aren't. You just don't know how to figure out the complicated, boring, and dull procedure Study Island wants you to do. I'm in 6th grade right now. Study Island is used mainly in math, because, well, of course, math is the worst subject in Study Island. Now, a normal person would think, oh, I could search this problem on the internet, or use my trusty and handy new device called a calculator to solve this problem. Right? Wrong! The teacher forces us to do the work on a sheet of graph or lined paper and use pencil to draw the entire question that we do. Oh, you want to do this problem that you could easily do on a calculator or in your head? Oh, sorry, we want you to show your work. It really doesn't matter because either way, we want you to use the old-fashioned way of things instead of using your brain and technology to figure it out. I don't care if those teachers say the calculator is a very great piece of technology they didn't have. They still force you to do it the old-fashioned way, but with the help of a calculator, because, well, you know, doing it in your head would be completely impossible unless you understand the boring, long, complicated, and dull procedures to figure out these stupid questions out. Alright, this video is getting a bit long, and plus, everyone pretty much already knows all the reasons for themselves why Study Island can simply just take a middle finger and then be pushed under the bus. So, I will end it here. So, in summary, Study Island is a terrible and inaccurate and outdated method of teaching students procedures in math, science, and ELA. But, in the end, I want to give a message to all the teachers, creators of Study Island, and people who are the top dogs of the US education system. To the teachers who help the students succeed in the real world and get them their dream job, to those who made Study Island, and to those who are currently running the education system, we, the students, proclaim that you guys do a very, very terrible job in teaching us, and making us feel like we know certain directions to the work we are given. Study Island forces us to moan and groan each time we hear it. We have to sit through 20 to 30 minutes of painfully boring and complicated work that we answer right, but then somehow get it wrong. Study Island is just an easy way for teachers to force students to work when they have their own issues or when they feel lazy. And Study Island is as outdated and terrible as the US education system. To the people who run it, you certainly think you do a great job, but you don't realize the US is ranked usually in the top 20 for its education system. You guys are using a system that has become outdated the moment we made the internet. The modern way of schooling in the US was made in the 1800s to get people's jobs for high grades. Now, jobs hire you based on creativity and personality. School's just worse than this. Get your act together. You guys look like a group of monkeys having the potential to become great and smart, but all you do is eat bananas and smash stones together because, they make funny noise, Signed, literally every student in America that hates you guys before.